Charles Barkley the other night on the Inside the NBA show on TNT was talking about the Nuggets and their slow start to the season and whether or not they are wasting Nikola Jokic's prime. Here's Chuck.
I hope they make a trade. You cannot waste a Joker's career. He is the best player in the world.
They won a championship.
I know, but he's like they could win again. They let two guys go off the bench that were very vital to them winning the championship. Their bench is weaker than water.
And Chuck, I think you need to add Jamal need to step his game back.
Well, Jamal needs to step up. Yeah, they won a championship, but they just let guys go.
Here's some more from Chuck.
If you got a guy that great, you got to win some more because he got another 5 years. When he gets older, his game going to still be fine because he's not the most athletic brother in the world. But I'm telling you, you cannot waste this guy's prime. This guy's the best player in the world. Get greedy.
So let's deconstruct this a little bit. Let's start, first of all, with this question. And, Stink, you get the first crack at it. Do you feel like the Nuggets are wasting Nikola Jokic's prime?
No, I don't feel like they're wasting his prime. They've made decisions on bench players. Like, come on, did Bruce Brown go and light it up wherever he went? Name me a bench player. We've all talked about it here locally. KCP is like, was that big of a drop off? Is Christian Brown not actually fulfilling that role? Is he not, statistically fulfilling that role? Like, no, I don't think they're wasting his prime. I think Jamal has to be better. I think the guys around him, I think they made some investments in some guys that, I question a little bit, and that was Michael Porter Jr. But do I think he's wasting his prime? No. And do I think their bench is weaker now because simply they've decided to go young and not spend a lot of money on their bench other than Westbrook. So I don't necessarily agree with that. They made some decisions that I think will pan out, but it's going to take a little bit of time this season for those to pan out.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't think they're wasting his prime. They're trying. They paid a lot of guys. You can't pay everyone. I don't want to keep everyone. And eventually, you got to say, hey, Christian Brown, let's see if you can be a starter in this league. And you know what? That's turned out to be a pretty good move, putting him in the starting lineup. So, has it been perfect? No, but I think they poured a lot of money into this basketball team and made a lot of commitments to the guys around Jokic. Now, heading into the season after last year, I said, hey, everything is on the table to try to upgrade the roster, whether it be a Michael Porter Jr. trade. I thought that could give them some cap flexibility and also maybe give them a superstar in return. You might have to move a couple guys, maybe a couple future first-round picks. So I think that should be on the table. But it's easy to say, hey, let's make a trade. Well, okay, that's easy. Well, give me some guys that you can make a trade for. Like, what kind of trade can you make? And then I'll say yes or no. Who are you going to trade? And who are you going to trade for? I think it's just easy to say, hey, you got to go make a trade.
Well, to me, I don't understand the fascination, the obsession with the Nuggets bench. As if Jeff Green, Reggie Jackson, Ish Smith, and yes, even Bruce Brown, that they're that impactful, that they matter that much in a team that has a core made up of Nikola Jokic, Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, and Michael Porter Jr. I've been kind of mystified as to why so much of the conversation centers around fringe veteran players and young players, and not enough attention's being placed on two guys in particular. Let's put the blame. If you are frustrated with the Nuggets, if you agree with Sir Charles and believe that they're wasting Nikola Jokic's prime, let's put it on two people and two people alone. Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. Jamal Murray for underachieving and Michael Porter Jr. for not taking his game to another level. Let me tell you something. You guys out there listening want to be sick? This is the amount of money that Michael Porter Jr. has been paid the last 3 years, including this year. You football guys are going to really be sick when you hear this. Michael Porter Jr. counting this year over the last 3 years will make $100 million. Jamal Murray, counting this year, over the last 3 years, will make $101 million. One of those guys, Jamal Murray, is underachieving. The other guy, despite ample opportunity with the absence of Aaron Gordon, with Jamal Murray not playing as well, has been given every opportunity to take his game to another all-star type level and has failed. And we're worrying about Jeff Green not being here. We're worried about Bruce Brown not being here. And yet the two guys who are making between them a combined $200 million, they get a pass? These are the two reasons why Nikola Jokic's prime might be being wasted.
What about a trade?
These two.
What about a trade? To Charles Barkley's point, should they be aggressive and try to move one of those two guys?
Well, if that's a point you're going to make, okay, I'll listen to that point. But, he's talking about how they have to go make some kind of trade to bring back like a Jeff Green type. Come on. From that standpoint, you're rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. Who cares?
All right, I can promise you this: Charles couldn't he couldn't name 4 guys that were on the bench, coming off the bench for that championship team the Nuggets have. I promise you, he didn't even know some of the starters. So he doesn't know that. But you're 100% right, Mike. It's Jamal. There was a reason that they shuffled their feet. There was a reason that they've had multiple kind of information dumps on Jamal that shouldn't be let out. There's been a reason, because they've been frustrated with him as an organization. That's the only reason you say the things you do. And there's a reason they shuffled their feet and signed him to that big-time deal. And ultimately, for Michael Porter Jr., you jumped in probably before, like way early on Michael Porter Jr., and then you've come to the realization that he's never going to be the explosive athlete you thought he could be. So if he doesn't have a great night shooting, he's not going to produce. It's what he does. So yeah, you made a mistake, and then you kind of got forced into the big contract with Jamal Murray, and he just has not taken it to the next level.
But let's just make sure we're putting the blame where the blame needs to be placed. It's with your core guys, 2 of your core guys who you're paying an astounding amount of money to, who aren't delivering like they're being paid to. So let's stop worrying about Julian Strother, Christian Brown, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Bruce Brown, and start focusing on the guys that you're paying obscene amount of money to deliver. And I'll look at the team that just won the championship a year ago. You want to talk about benches. You see who the Celtics are rolling out on their bench right now? I mean, Sam Hauser, Luke Cornett, Xavier Tillman, Peyton Pritchard, 65-year-old Al Horford. They're doing just fine. Why? Because their core guys are delivering. The core guys who are getting paid big money, they're doing their job. 2 of the Nuggets' core 4 aren't. And that's why they're in the position they're in, potentially wasting Nikola Jokic's prime.